The modern hot hatchback, a 4-wheel drive turbocharged 4-pot, giving average Joes like us a taste of early noughties supercar performance in a car that can fit all of your family and your shopping bags. What's the first thing that comes to mind when I describe a car as a 3-door, 2-litre turbocharged hatchback with over 220 horsepower and 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds? You probably wouldn't say a 1990s Nissan, but with the engine from the 180SX and the all-wheel drive system from the GTi-R, Nissan's small Pulsar GTi-R is a hidden JDM hot hatch that you need to know about. And you're in the right place, because you're watching QuattroCam. My name is Alex, and you're watching Is Nissan's baby GTi-R a hidden JDM gem? So let's explain what the Pulsar is, how it snagged some of Nissan's best parts, and why it didn't really take off as everybody had hoped. In the beginning, there was little to be excited about. The Pulsar as we know it was actually the next evolution of the Prince Motor Company's Cherry model. Now, is there any less sporty a name for a car than the Cherry, especially given its mighty 1.4-litre engine? It might have been a perfectly reasonable econobox, but we're here for some power. By its second generation, Nissan had popped the Cherry everywhere but Europe, ushering in the Pulsar name and beginning its climb towards hot hatch stardom.
Nissan know-how.
The 1980s saw the Pulsar share the sales floor with the Skyline and introduce the first hot variant thanks to a trim package called the SSS Turbo. This came with a 1.5-litre turbocharged engine, producing 113 horsepower. Now that might not sound all that great by today's standards, but in the 80s, the SSS Turbo made more power than the Mark I Golf GTi, so it had some punch to it. When 1986 rolled around, designers said no to the aerodynamic lines of the time and pushed ahead with a stocky little compact instead. The boxy Pulsar would also get all-wheel drive, originally for just a handful of cars. By 1988, it was available across the range and was very similar to the Attesa system. It even won Japanese Car of the Year in 1986. The little Pulsar was starting to mature. Some models even received the CA18DE, a 1.8-litre dual overhead cam engine, making 127 horsepower. This was essentially the same engine found in the 180SX, but without forced induction. The top bin parts were starting to creep into the Pulsar's armoury. The next generation is where things get really hot. Funny side note, the Nissan Pulsar was actually called the Sunny in the UK. Quite ironic really, for a country that experiences 3 days of sun every year.
Hello? Yep, I know. There's no rain and there's some big yellow bright thing in the sky. What is it? What do you mean it's summer? It's Britain. We don't have summers.
The 90s Pulsar would be the first to get a truly iconic JDM engine, an engine that would be at home in any hot hatch today. We're of course talking about the SR20. Alongside this would be the smaller SR18, still producing 138 horsepower. It was capable for its day, but this generation of Pulsar is what we came here to talk about. Now, the Pulsar GTi-R came about for one reason. Nissan wanted in on the world of rally, and they needed to homologate a car to do that. It featured the aforementioned SR20 DET engine, producing 227 horsepower and 210 foot-pounds of torque. The body is largely the same as the standard 3-door model, but to help it stand out, the GTi-R had a large rear wing and bonnet scoop alongside the Attesa all-wheel drive system. The standard GTi-R is capable of accelerating from 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds, cover the standing quarter mile in 13.5 seconds, and reaching a top speed of 144 miles per hour. To put this into perspective, a Mark I Golf GTi puts down the same quarter mile time, with similar 0 to 60s from its DSG gearbox. The Pulsar GTi-R of the early 90s could mix it with the best of today's hot hatches, and that wasn't even the best version. The Pulsar GTi-R was taken by Nismo, Nissan's legendary in-house tuning arm, and tweaked even further, with features such as uprated suspension, limited slip differentials, a roll cage, added strengthening plates around the strut towers, and even Nismo-specific footrests. Good luck finding one though, only 21 were ever made, so the GTi-R sounds like a riot. So why does it not get more recognition? What exactly went wrong? Well, before we get to that, if you've enjoyed this video so far, why not consider giving it a like? And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It's free, and it really helps us out. So what did go wrong? Well, quite a few things, as it turned out. After producing the minimum required 5,000 examples, Nissan entered the GTi-R under Group A rules in the FIA World Rally Championship as a factory team, Nissan Motorsport Europe, or NME. Based in Milton Keynes, NME was only competing in selected races during both 1991 and 1992, those being rallies that they thought they had a good chance of winning. Sounds good so far. Subaru did a pretty similar thing with their WRC team, but the initial success expected by Nissan Japan was not achieved, and they abandoned the campaign in 1992 after only 9 rallies. Factory development stopped there, and the Pulsar GTi-R never won a Group A rally. It is generally agreed that the Group A GTi-R campaign failure was due to a combination of the uncompetitive tyres, the inefficiency of the top-mounted intercooler when engine power was increased to Group A standards, and politics and cultural issues between Nissan Japan and the newly created Nissan Motorsport Europe. Just think about the sales success of championship-winning rally cars, and you can start to see how the GTi-R could have become a modern-day Golf R way back in the mid-90s. Some might say the Pulsar GTi-R was just not a good platform, but those people would be dead wrong. You see, NME helped get the Pulsar into Group N rally with Japanese privateer team Nishiyama Racing, driven by Hiroshi Nishiyama. The GTi-R had great success in the Group N Championship Cup for drivers of production cars in 1992, taking first and second places, clearly demonstrating the GTi-R's ability at production level. So this was an accomplished vehicle after all. Despite this success, the GTi-R would never return. It wasn't brought back for the 1995 model year, and the Pulsar became a cheap, reliable compact car with a typical range of petrol and diesel engines. And this is a sad end to a truly great platform. Nissan made just under 14,000 GTi-Rs, a few thousand less than the R33 GTR, making the Pulsar rare but not unattainable. One thing that keeps the GTi-R a hidden gem is it never made it stateside. You can find some importers bringing these cars to America, but it never attracted the attention of the public, probably because of its limited run, due in part to its lack of WRC success.
We chose to go down the road of the Sunny, basically because we feel that there's more customers, more affordable customers in rallying than there is in racing.
But what do you think? Is there a better JDM hot hatch the world needs to know about? Let us know in the comments. You can check out some of our other videos over here. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more great content like this.